Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our reigning Miss Solomon Islands plus our Miss Solomon Island Pageant 2024 contestants. Last but not least, definitely not least, the beautiful Miss Coral Sea Resort and Casino. Please welcome contestant number 6.
Thank you, MC. Good morning, esteemed judges, sister contestants, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored to present a topic that plays a vital role to our country's development, economic empowerment for women, and how it can drive sustainable development in the rural areas of the Solomon Islands. It is clear that the Solomon Islands is home to various natural resources and rich in cultural diversity. However, it is important that our future is reserved with human resources exclusively for our women in the rural areas. Our women are the backbone of the community. Our women uphold the resilience of adapting to obstacles. Our women are crafters, farmers, fishers, weavers, and caregivers. We all know that our mothers and grandmothers are some of the hard-working people in the families. Their efforts to ensure that the family is provided with food and that the home is stable really spark the important key roles our women play. According to the Solomon Islands National Statistics Office, nearly 50% of our women are in the agricultural workforce. Yet, women remain unfortunate to receive equal access to education, financial resources, and decision-making processes. Therefore, I will begin with great examples on how empowering women economically can bring forth rapid changes to their lives, their families, and also to the rural communities. Firstly, poverty reduction and enhancing family welfare. An empowered woman is the face of an empowered generation. For instance, in Auki market of Malaya province, about 300 rural women travel daily to sell the products. By doing so, they earn profits that contribute to paying school fees for the children and meeting demands of household needs. Such initiatives greatly support the welfare of their children for a lively community. Research has found that women invest more in the children's well-being than men, so that explains a lot. Shaping resilient communities, that is the second one. Women are naturally smart thinkers. During times of crisis, women are often quick to respond to disasters or economic hardships. For instance, during times of natural disasters, women in the rural areas would gather themselves for the aftermath effects in agricultural work to ensure that enough food is provided for their families and communities. Women play the role of balancing the needs of their communities during challenging times. Respected judges, I will now highlight 3 ways in which women can drive sustainable development. 1 is education and training. Educating a woman is just as educating a village. The Gender Action Plan provided women in the rural areas with essential thinking, training skills which covered basic knowledge on sewing, tie-dyeing, and introduction to basic hygiene and baking. Over 90 women had participated in this program, and many had started small businesses from the skills gained. A total of 35 women came from Malatoha and Balaha in central Guadalcanal. Next is access to financial services. It is critical for women in rural areas to have access to savings. One example is the West Are Rokatani Keni that enabled women to hold savings and microloans. Such loans made it possible for rural women to create small businesses and maintain a stable household living. Furthermore, our market opportunities and leadership roles. Market opportunities are vital for women in rural areas to showcase their products on a national and international scale. The Market for Change project is one initiative that supports Auki women entrepreneurship promotion and to activate women's participation in local economic development. On the other hand, men do decision-making in marketplaces, although a high number of women work in the marketplace, which needs to change. Women must be allowed to freely own their marketing spaces. The Solomon Islands government's National Gender Equality and Women's Development Policy aims to increase women's participation in decision-making at all levels. The more marketing opportunities the more women can become exposed to economic empowerment. When women are involved in decision making, they bring new perspectives that empower communities for sustainable development. And to conclude, esteemed judges, empowering women economically is for the good of our country's development. As the saying goes, when you empower a woman, you empower a nation. As future leaders, let us prioritize our vulnerable women and build an inclusive space for sustainable, prosperous, and equitable Solomon Islands. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Can you give me an example of some of the economic empowerment activities that women are currently engaged in Solomon Islands?
Thank you. One example is the Gender Action Plan, which provided women in rural areas to have essential training skills such as sewing, tie-dyeing, and introduction to hygiene and baking, which can also help women to develop their skills so that they can become more self-sufficient, and it prevents them from relying or depending too much on others for their living. So one is Gender Action Plan, and the other one is the access to financial services, which is part of economically empowering women, and that is the West Are Are, Rokatani Keni Wara for short, which enable women to have their own savings and microloans. In that way, it can help them to be economically empowered rather than just depending on others. So those are the two examples I can give. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. You've, like your colleagues, you made a lot of facts to back your argument. You talk about others, but now I want to ask you about you. What can you do as a young woman in this country to help contribute towards economic development? Law country, blaming. Thank you.
Thank you for that. What I can do to also economically contribute to our country. I will, first of all, as a young woman, I would focus on agricultural productivity. As we can see in our town, especially on the market stalls, majority of those people are women, vendors are women. So what I can do is I will try to develop my skills in agriculture to also participate in building farms, and that also contributes to food security. And another way I can also contribute to our economy is by my education. I'm a current law student, so as a future lawyer, I will focus on my legal field in creating our laws and make sure our country is secure and safe, and make sure that nobody is above the law, and hope for our future that is safe for our next generation. Thank you.
Thank you. Please put your hands together for contestant number 6, Miss Coral Sea Resort and Casino, which brings us to the end of this morning.